Welcome back to the channel everybody, Sudhindra here again, and in this video let's talk about the newly launched OnePlus 8T 5G. In this video I'm going to cover the pros and cons. Let's discuss whether this is the worthy successor for the just launched OnePlus 8. We'll also see who should be upgrading, who should wait, is there a green tint issue, is Samsung S20 Fan Edition better than OnePlus 8T? Answers to all these questions coming up. But before we get there, if this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel and ring the bell so that you get notified whenever I post an awesome tech video. Friends, I'm giving away OnePlus Bullet Z once this channel reaches 500 subscribers, and we are just 30 subscribers away from that milestone. So if you have not subscribed yet, click the subscribe button and follow me on my other social media, Facebook and Twitter, where I'll be announcing the giveaway results. I'm not going to group the pros and cons separately. We'll talk about that when the topic comes up. Coming to the design, we have seen it similar to other OnePlus phones. It has a glass Android design with an aluminum frame. However, we have seen similar design in Samsung S20 series. I wish they would have tried something different. Now don't take me wrong, it's a great design, but it's something we have seen it already. Since we are talking about design, let's talk about durability also. We have seen Gupta ji's video where OnePlus 8T has failed the bend test. In that video, Gupta ji has mentioned that all the OnePlus phones starting from OnePlus 7T has failed the bend test. In my opinion, OnePlus has to address this issue seriously and start to make their phones structurally strong. While comparing this to Samsung S20 Fan Edition, yes, F20 Fan Edition comes with a plastic back, but it looks premium. I don't see any reason why I should not pick Samsung S20 Fan Edition compared to OnePlus 8T in terms of design. But if you prefer glass back, OnePlus 8T is the option for you. Now let's talk about display. This is one of the biggest change that we see from OnePlus 8 to OnePlus 8T. The display size remains the same at 6.55 inch at Full HD Plus display, but there is a jump in the refresh rate from 90Hz to 120Hz, and in my opinion this is one of the best updates that OnePlus 8T has seen from OnePlus 8. Unfortunately, we are not seeing a 10-bit display here that we saw in OnePlus 8 Pro, but a 8-bit display is decently good and we will not see any difference in day-to-day usage. OnePlus also powered this display with 240Hz touch sampling rate, which takes the experience to next level. This display with a peak brightness of 1100 nits is one of the best displays under 50,000, right next to Galaxy S20 Fan Edition. Galaxy S20 Fan Edition also has a similar display, but the peak brightness is not at 1100 nits. Since we are talking about displays, let's also talk about the green tint issue, right? OnePlus Nord has attracted a lot of criticism because of the green tint issue. If you want me to explain the green tint issue, when we take the brightness all the way to 0 and then open a browser or an app which shows the gray color, you can see a faint green color on the screen just like here. This is one of the properties of AMOLED screen. AMOLED screens are very expensive to manufacture and they don't have the 100% accuracy in terms of quality control. So we see these kind of irregularities here and there, and that is common across all the manufacturers. Now there are two things that come into picture here. Apple also uses OLED displays, AMOLED displays, but we don't see much of green tint issue there because the quality control Apple has is higher. That's also the reason why the replacement screens are a lot expensive for iPhones, whereas the budget phones have little less tolerance level when it comes to the quality. So we expect to see these kind of things. The second reason is when it comes to the software itself. Even though Samsung uses the same display, their calibration of colors of this display is a lot better than OnePlus calibration. So these are the two reasons that I feel are causing the green tint issues. OnePlus has addressed the green tint issue in OnePlus 8T. How did they do that? Did they increase the threshold for quality? No. But what did they do? Now they are not allowing you to decrease the brightness to all the way to 0. You can only decrease the brightness to a level where you cannot see the green tint issue. So in a way they have addressed it, but they have not. But for me, if I am buying OnePlus 8T 5G, display is one of the reasons. It's a HDR Plus certified display, and of course it's a wideband L1 certified display. For someone who consumes a lot of content, this is one of the best displays you can get on a smartphone. Let's talk about Auxin Os. You might be tired of me telling Auxin Os is what Android is supposed to be, but OnePlus is taking a deviation from there, and they are taking some cues from Samsung's One UI, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Samsung's One UI has some features which will help in single-handed usage, and the bad thing is Auxin Os doesn't look like stock Android anymore. We now see always on display, and there are some cool features in the always on display like you see here. Even though Auxin Os has a lot of fan following, One UI in the Samsung S20 Fan Edition comes with Knox security, which provides a lot of security over the Auxin Os, and it also has a secured folder where you can safeguard the data without getting hacked. Now let's talk about RAM and storage. This is one place where I have always criticized OnePlus for implementing their cheap tactics of 6GB version in India. It looks like they heard me and they took a right move by eliminating the 6GB variant altogether. The base variant now is the 8GB variant, and in my opinion, this is future proof for the next 2 years at least. Both OnePlus 8T 5G and Samsung S20 Fan Edition comes with UFS 3.1. S20 Fan Edition has an upper hand here because it has an expandable memory card slot. Coming to the heart of the matter, OnePlus phones have always come with flagship processors. Unlike OnePlus 70, which saw Snapdragon 855 Plus, we are not seeing Snapdragon 865 Plus here. What we are seeing is the same processor in OnePlus 8, that is Snapdragon 865. I can understand why OnePlus had to take this decision. They still have the flagship OnePlus 8 Pro, which is not seeing the successor in the form of OnePlus 8T Pro, so they cannot give a faster processor than OnePlus 8 Pro. If that is the case, why do you even want to launch OnePlus 8T? OnePlus 8 itself is decently powerful phone. Nonetheless, Snapdragon 865 is still amazingly powerful processor, and you will not see any lags in status at least for 2 years, and that coupled with regular updates from OnePlus makes this phone lag free and stutter free even after 2 years. This is one area where I'm really not happy with Samsung. Samsung's S10 Lite was powered by Snapdragon 855. We were all expecting that Samsung will do the same thing for S20 Fan Edition also, which they did actually for the rest of the world, but for Europe and India we are seeing an Auxin Os processor. It is powered by Auxin Os 990. Now Auxin Os 990 is good and it is as powerful as Snapdragon 855, but it is nowhere close to Snapdragon 865. OnePlus actually maintains good gap here with its Snapdragon 865 processor. Auxin Os 990 is decently powerful, but unlike 865, it is power hungry, it drains your battery a little faster, it heats up your phone, and it also throttles a lot when you perform any CPU intensive applications. If you are not a gamer, you will be happy with S20 Fan Edition. But if you are a gamer, I prefer you go to OnePlus 8T. OnePlus also equipped OnePlus 8T with additional vapor chamber, which should keep the phone lot cooler compared to Samsung S20 Fan Edition. If you're liking this video, do let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Coming to the cameras, OnePlus 8T 5G comes with a quad camera setup. We have the main 48 megapixel sensor, which is carried over from OnePlus 8, which was carried over from OnePlus 70, which was carried over from OnePlus 7. It might be carried over from earlier models also. I don't want to talk about it. It clicks decently sharp photos and it is equipped by optical image stabilization as well as electronic image stabilization. The secondary camera is a 16 megapixel wide angle sensor. It is decent, but the photos that come out of it are softer. I do not recommend using this unless it is required. The third sensor is a 5 megapixel macro. On paper, it's a decent upgrade from a 2 megapixel macro that we saw in OnePlus 8, but in quality, it is still a joke, so you can ignore it. The fourth camera is a 2 megapixel monochrome for your black and white photos. Again, it doesn't click good photos. You can ignore that also. When you compare the rear cameras of OnePlus 8T 5G with Samsung S20 Fan Edition, S20 Fan Edition on paper it is smaller with just 12 megapixel, but it's a flagship sensor. It clicks amazingly sharp photos compared to OnePlus 8T 5G, and the wide angle sensor is again 12 megapixel wide angle sensor, which takes lot sharper photos compared to 16 megapixel wide angle sensor on OnePlus 8T 5G. The third sensor on S20 Fan Edition is a 8 megapixel telephoto lens, which helps in 3x lossless zoom, which is a lot better compared to the macro and monochrome sensors in OnePlus 8T 5G. In the daylight, both the phones take good photos, with S20 Fan Edition taking lot sharper photos than OnePlus 8T 5G. Coming to indoor lighting, OnePlus 8T doesn't take good photos, whereas S20 Fan Edition takes good photos even in the indoor situation. In the low light, both of them have a lot of hard work to do. Both the phones have night modes, but Samsung S20 Fan Edition has a light advantage over OnePlus 8T 5G. Coming to the videos, both have decent dynamic range and super steady modes, which takes decent videos. Unless this is the only camera with you, I do not recommend any of these for vlogging. Yes, stability is there, but details are missing. In the selfie department, OnePlus 16 megapixel has little advantage over Samsung's 32 megapixel sensor. What is strange is OnePlus Nord is capable of recording 4K videos using the selfie camera, and OnePlus 8T 5G cannot. Probably this is just an update away from 4K recording capabilities. Overall, I will say Samsung S20 Fan Edition is a lot better camera phone compared to OnePlus 8T 5G. If your main requirement is a camera phone, you can happily pick Samsung S20 Fan Edition and you can take flagship level photos in that phone. Coming to the battery and charger, OnePlus has increased the capacity to 4500 charger, probably to support the 120Hz refresh rate display. And in my opinion, this is also a wonderful move by OnePlus. And if I am picking OnePlus 8T 5G, battery is the second reason, display being the first. It should give you good 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, and when you run out of battery, the 65 watt fast charger juices up your phone 0 to 100 in about 40 minutes. Even though all the YouTubers are going gaga about the 65 watt fast charger, in my opinion, OnePlus has waited so long so that the charging technology becomes so cheap. It's a great move, but why wait till now? They actually took this technology from their younger brother Realme, which costs only 15,000 or $200 US. S20 Fan Edition has same 4500 mAh battery, but the screen on time is little less. Even though the phone supports 25 watt fast charger, in the box you will get only 15 watt fast charger. I don't know why Samsung is taking such idiotic steps. Now let's talk about the points that we started this very video with. Is it a worthy upgrade from OnePlus 8? On one side it retains the same processor, on the other side it has a better screen, it has a bigger battery and a better charger. And the biggest change is there is a reduction of price. OnePlus 8 costed 45,000 for 8 gig, 50,000 for 12 gig, whereas OnePlus 8T 5G costs 43,000 for 8 gig variant and 45,000 for 12 gig variant. In my opinion, it's a decent upgrade from OnePlus 8. But if you can wait for 4 more months, OnePlus 9 is coming. I'm making a video on what all we can expect from OnePlus 8T to OnePlus 9. Stay tuned to the channel. The second question we saw was who should upgrade? If you have a OnePlus 7T, do you have to upgrade? No. You can hold on to your OnePlus 7T. It has better cameras than OnePlus 8T 5G and the processor is still very powerful. So hold on to your OnePlus 7T, no need to upgrade now. We will see once the OnePlus 9 comes and see whether we can upgrade or not. If you have OnePlus 5, OnePlus 6 and if you want to stick with Auxin Os, you can upgrade to OnePlus 8T 5G. If you are a first time buyer and if you want to use Auxin Os, if you can wait for 3-4 months, wait. Let's see what OnePlus 9 will bring. If you cannot wait, you can close your eyes and buy this phone. Again, if you want a camera phone, this is not the phone for you. The next question is S20 Fan Edition better than OnePlus 8T 5G? OnePlus 8T 5G has a glass sandwich design. It has a better battery. It has a super fast charger. The performance overall is a lot better than S20 Fan Edition. At the same time, it can take better selfies. Coming to S20 Fan Edition, it has IP68 water and dust resistance. It's overall a better camera phone. It has wireless charging. It has DeX support where you can convert your phone into a desktop. It has a telephoto lens where you will have a 3x lossless zoom. And it has expandable storage. Had Samsung S20 Fan Edition come with Snapdragon processor, I would have recommended it blindly. Unless you are a gamer who needs super fast performance in your phone, I recommend you go with Samsung S20 Fan Edition. I'm also making a video on what to expect in OnePlus 9. I feel that OnePlus is running out of ideas and options on what to include in OnePlus 9 and I exactly know what might be coming to OnePlus 9. All the OnePlus 8, 80, 9, 90, whatever comes is an awkward middle position where the OnePlus cannot give the flagship level hardware that they will give in the Pro variants and they cannot cut down the hardware lower than the Nord phones. So stay tuned for my OnePlus 9 video. Remember, there is no perfect phone out there and if you like OnePlus 8T 5G, go ahead and buy that. In my opinion, it's a great phone except for minor issues. And I really love the OnePlus 8T 5G over OnePlus 8. If you're liking this video, do let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Tweet it, share it, and if you haven't joined yet, join Tech Platter family by hitting the subscribe button below. I do my best to answer every question and if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. Alright, we're done here.